Hi, welcome to my Pillar One project. I'm Santa Elza, and I will be sharing with you the community power structure and the impact it has on Friendswood ISD. Friendswood's civic landscape most closely fits a power elite structure. A small, tightly connected set of municipal officials, major donors, and business leaders set the policy agenda, while other groups participate but rarely decide final outcomes. How these groups align with the power elite model. We have a centralized elected core, economic gatekeepers, single high impact donor pipeline, and a stable incumbency. Taken together, these features match the classic power elite description: clear centers of authority, overlapping circles, and decisions that flow outward rather than upward. There are a few pluralistic elements that do exist in our community, but they do not shift the core. Our large HOA groups with email blasts and Facebook groups, they can mobilize quickly on zoning or dress code issues, but wins are usually defensive rather than directive. And our faith and service clubs supply volunteers and public comment speakers, yet they still campaign for projects that are already prioritized by the council or the donor block. These groups provide input, but the core agenda is rarely rewritten because of them, another hallmark of a power elite system rather than a fully pluralist one. The impact that this has on Friendswood ISD, because the same small circle appears in the city government, the chamber, and the education foundation, district leaders must secure buy-in from that elite cluster for first, bond timing and size. City economic forecasts and chamber sentiment strongly influence whether school bond is labeled responsible or too much. Two, for our program rollouts, the foundation grant criteria often set the tone for which innovations are prioritized. And then three, land use and enrollment pressure. Council zoning decisions determine where new housing and therefore student growth will hit first, well before the district can react with staffing or facilities. So in practice, FISD runs smoother when its proposals align with the priorities of this power elite core, and when they don't, progress slows or stalls. The Power Elite model best captures how Friendswood operates. A cohesive leadership group makes most pivotal choices, with other voices able to advise, applaud, or occasionally block, but seldom steer the final direction. Some of the local groups that function as Friendswood's Power Elite are our city political leadership, such as our mayor and city council members, city manager and department heads, Friendswood Chamber of Commerce, board of directors, large employers and developers, Friendswood Education Foundation, Friendswood ISD Board of Trustees and Superintendent, Rotary Club of Friendswood, high capacity homeowner associations, and faith based civic leaders. Why do these groups qualify as Power Elite? Well, they are small overlapping leadership circles. The same names appear across council committees, chamber boards, Rotary projects, and FEF galas. For example, our former FISD superintendent, Trish Hanks, now sits on city council. Next, our agenda setting privilege. A bond timing, zoning changes, and grant criteria usually originate inside these circles before broader public discussion. And then stable incumbency. Mayor and council seats turn over slowly. Chamber and FEF boards recruit from a narrow professional network. Together, these bodies form the tight core that drives most high impact decisions in Friendswood. Decisions that ultimately shape our school funding, enrollment patterns, and program priorities in Friendswood ISD. Let's discuss some of the community groups in Friendswood that both have children enrolled in Friendswood ISD and operate with limited influence in city or district level decision making, followed by the practical effects their powerlessness has on students. First, we have our economically disadvantaged families, which are roughly 8 to 13% of FISD enrollment. Then our renters and apartment residents, which equate to roughly 23% of households, our support staff, and our students. What are the system level effects of the power gap? Well, first we have our resource distribution skews upward. So schools serving more low income or rental populations raise fewer matching dollars, and their parents typically have less fundraising experience and professional networks. Second, our safety and infrastructure lag behind need. Because renters in lower income neighborhoods have less presence in zoning or bond hearings, sidewalks, crosswalks, and drainage projects near their homes move down the capital improvement queue, yet their children are still walking or biking to school daily. Third, participation barriers widen achievement gaps. So, pay to participate activities such as competitive athletics, band, robotics come with booster club fees that are waived only upon request. Families without social capital often feel uncomfortable asking, so some students are quietly self selecting out. And then, four, those policy perceptions sour. When dress code or attendance zone maps are with revised with limited student or low income parent input, the affected children view the rules as externally imposed, which correlates with higher discipline incidents and lower survey trust scores. So, taken together, these patterns illustrate how a power elite community structure can unintentionally magnify inequalities inside an otherwise high performing school district. Reflecting, I would rate my comfort level with Friendswood's current power structure as moderately comfortable. As a classroom teacher, I feel comfortable that I can speak during board meetings and at community events, and I occasionally sit on district committees. However, most high stakes choices, bond timing, zoning approvals, large grants, are shaped by a tight circle of city officials, business leaders, and major donors before campus voices enter the conversation. I've seen the system at its best with faith based and civic groups stepping in quickly, with volunteers blessing us with the gift of their time or filling immediate campus needs when they arise. Classroom projects move forward and families feel the community support. I've also felt the strains when school calendars arrive without broad community input or when last minute changes are implemented based on limited voices in the power structure. In those moments, teachers scramble to adapt while decisions made upstream go unquestioned. A clear illustration of something that impacted our campus is a playground gap that our campus still faces. When the most recent district bond was developed, the committee focused heavily on secondary athletic facilities and left elementary play structures unfunded. As a result, our PTO on our campus spent 2 years raising roughly $85,000 to install a small play area. The area covers barely one third of the recess classes at any given time, and it offers no shade. Students shorten their active play minutes, and injuries have increased due to the students interacting with the natural structures such as the large rocks. The decision pathway that sidelined elementary playgrounds, the bond advisory process, dominated by homeowners with older children and local business voices, shows how the power elite circles priorities can override day-to-day development needs on the younger campuses. However, we are so grateful for our PTO stepping in and raising that $85,000 to give us a new play area. Welcome to part B of my Pillar 1 presentation. Next steps are a communication plan. My goal is to walk through the updated campus communication plan I created for my campus, Bales Intermediate. The who, what, when, where, and how that will keep students, families, staff, and community partners informed and involved throughout the 2025-2026 school year. Why does this plan matter? Because clear, predictable communication does three things: it builds trust, reduces confusion, and frees teachers to focus on instruction instead of chasing down details. Every element you'll see, stakeholder map, matrix, channels, roles, and monitoring, meets both district expectations, and follows the Breakthrough Principles family engagement benchmarks. First, you'll see the stakeholder map. Students, assistant principal leads, counselor backs up. Classroom families, teachers lead, grade level content leads back up. PTO, counselors primary, principal backs up. Campus staff, principal, then assistant principal. District leaders and trustees, principal, then assistant principal. Power Elite community partners, think Chamber, Rotary, Education Foundation, counselor leads, principal backs up. Small businesses and service clubs, communities, and schools director takes point, and the counselor is the backup. This map means nobody wonders who's supposed to reply when an email hits. Next is the heartbeat of the plan, the cadence matrix. So, first, we have the daily communication matrix. So, this is our commitment that every day students will have announcements, and these will be administered through the overhead announcements. And twice a week, they will have video announcements. And one of the administration team members will be responsible for doing the announcements each day. Also, individual families every day will have contact from teachers, whether that be positive notes, a minor concern touch base, or their student's learner profile. So these will be coming, this information will be coming to them through Seesaw, emails, phone calls, the daily folder, and the person responsible for this communication will be the classroom teachers. And then all of our campus visitors. Each day, we will help them problem solve, direct them to resources through face to face interaction of our amazing office team. Here you will see our weekly communication matrix that holds our weekly commitments. So each row represents the stakeholders, the purpose of the communication, the channel they will be communicated through, and who's responsible for that communication. So as you can see, we have Friday class e-newsletters that will go out from all classroom teachers by Friday at 3 p.m. for families. Staff will be communicated through weekly with the staff hoofbeat newsletter. And then instructional coaches will be sending grade level parent tips each Wednesday to the teachers so they can include those in their Friday newsletter. And then our online community, the social media Westwood Bales PTO Facebook group, and the stakeholders involved in our PTO group. So the PTO board runs the group, but as staff members, we can also post in there. So our counselor and our amazing classroom teachers will be including posts each week about student highlights, celebrations, upcoming events, and reminders. Next, we have our monthly communication cadence matrix, where the principal campus newsletter will go out to our families. Our special services team will send out unit previews and volunteer opportunities for families. We will also include our HOA e-blast, PTO board face-to-face meetings, and then our Education Foundation impact report. On this monthly communication cadence, you will see that we include all of our major stakeholders in at least a monthly commitment, whether that be a quick email, a face to face meeting, a one-page communication document, or face to face time, such as our Education Foundation hosting campus walkthroughs. Lastly, we're looking at our communication cadence matrix for mid-quarterly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual. So as you can see, these include progress report and report card updates and Skyward, site-based committee meetings, face-to-face meetings where we can adjust the plan. We can talk about what's working, what's not working. The semi-annual meetings, those faith and service roundtable breakfast commitments, our campus-wide family engagement nights, and business partner walkthroughs. And then annually, that community survey, family engagement, professional development, and a full plan audit to ensure that we are set up for success for the following school year. So again, each row shows the stakeholder, the purpose of the communication, the channel, and most importantly, who is responsible for that communication. So any of our staff members can look at the any of these cadence matrix to find exactly where that communication is coming from and what they are responsible for. So all the channels are pre-configured, and this table shows what channel and platform we will be using, who sets up and is the owner of that platform, and then just some helpful notes. So Seesaw is for day-to-day class updates. This is great because it also has a Spanish auto translate, so we can utilize this for our emergent bilingual families as well. Our campus website, Family Hub for archives, the Westwood Bales PTO Facebook group for quick celebrations and upcoming events, Skyward messaging for emergencies, as well as to communicate grades. The parent newsletter template will live in the drive, and the counselor will update it monthly. And our community one pager, it's roughly a 300 word infographic that the principal sends to our community partners, our city, chamber, and Rotary contacts. Here is who owns what, so every message has a clear sender and nothing falls through the cracks. So in the next two slides, you will find tables for responsibilities by role. This is the same information that was provided in each communication matrix, but now we have it organized by role. So you can go to your specific role and see your core communication duties and then see when the key deadlines and checkpoints are for those pieces of communication. This is slide 2 of responsibilities by role. This table shows the role, the core communication duties, and then those key deadlines and checkpoints. Again, same information that was in the communication cadence matrix, but this is now provided by each individual's responsibility. How will we know that this communication plan is successful? Well, we're going to track by 4 metrics. So, our Seesaw open rate, teachers will monitor this monthly, and if it is below 50%, it will trigger simpler content. Our Skyward message open rate, the principal will monitor. Again, if it's below 50%, it will trigger new, simpler subject lines. Two-way family contact. So teachers will log this into our student information system, which is Skyward, and our AP will be responsible for checking for this communication log every 9 weeks. And then our family attendance, family night attendance. We are aiming for 40% of families to attend these nights. And if we fall below that, we will look at changing the time or possibly the format that we're providing. One of the commitments and main goals for this campus communication plan was that any staff member could implement it at any time by simply reviewing the campus communication plan. So I've included a quick start checklist for new staff members. They will join the communication drive in folder on our shared drive, Communication 2025-26. They can bookmark the newsletter template, which is located in that drive, set up their Seesaw office hours. Also, they can watch the 10-minute positive contact video. So even if they weren't here at the very beginning of the year, that professional development is still being provided to them through that video. And then logging every family interaction in our student information system, Skyward. So This structure meets our goals by including daily two-way communication, data-driven adjustments, and shared ownership. So thank you so much for your partnership to keep families and our community meaningfully connected to our campus. And I would love for you to share your feedback, and I will finalize this plan and include it in our shared Google Drive. Thank you so much.